Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Kim Dalsgaard Christensen. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at Continia Software. The agenda for today is very simple. I will give you a very short heads up on Continia in general. Then you will see a full presentation of what's new within Document Capture. The What's New part will be presented by my colleague, Mikkel Resbøl, a Global Senior Solution Specialist for Document Capture. For those of you who haven't met Continia before this webinar, very short, Continia is an international software vendor. We focus 100% building solution enhancing the financial capabilities within Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. Each and every solution is delivered through our partners. All our solutions are available on Microsoft App Stores, and 1st of October, all solutions were upgraded to new versions 2024 R2, supporting the new Business Central 2024 Wave 2, both in the Continia and Microsoft world, also called version 25. Within this month, we will release extensions as well, supporting on-premise version 2 years back, Business Central versions 2 years back, plus the Business Central 14, the last FOB version. For notice, this version 2024 R2 will be the last version where we include Business Central 14, the FOB version. Companies who remain on this version, also for the time to come, this is the version you will be able to get. There will be no further version releases. And within 2 years, we do not offer support on the version any longer. Please also notice there is no BC14 FOB available for our new releases, as you can see here. That will be Continia Sustainability, Banking and Finance. To support these new releases, we have established the most comprehensive range of What's New webinars in the Continia history. At this point, we are almost done. And did you regret that you didn't show up on all of them? We will make all recordings available on our YouTube channel as soon as possible. Just go to our YouTube and subscribe to our channel, and then you'll be notified when new videos are published. For this event, you still can access the chat after the event, but not the recording. We will email you the recording as soon as we have made a minor edition. Current status is that this community of Continia now is supported by no less than 30,000 live installations within more than 45 countries. All solutions are supported by more than 1,600 partners with more than 12,000 people that have access to our partner services and within license and technical support. We are very humble and honored by all the confidence and trust that lies in this number. A big thank you both to our partners and customers. And this is also why we invest in adding improvements of existing and new features to our solutions. And with that in mind, let's see what's new in Document Capture, the newest version. Mikkel, it's time for you to go on.
Thank you, Kim. I hope you can hear me, and then I will turn on the screen sharing. That should be this one. You should see the rocket slide.
It's there.
Great. Thanks. And thank you all for joining. It's a pleasure for me being here, have the opportunity to show you some of the new things in the latest release of Document Capture. And as mentioned by my great colleague Kim, we have two other fabulous colleagues, Joshua and Christian, on board, and they will be answering your questions during the show. So if you get a comment from Joshua or Christian, then it's all right. They are certified in doing that. So let's see, what are we up to? Who is this guy speaking? This is Mikkel, the Global Senior Solution Specialist, sitting in Copenhagen. And I have a few words for you before we start this show. What is it that we're going to view today, the next 1.5 hours? more or less. I hope I've timed my demonstration according to the time available, but let's see what goes on. At first, what is it that we are to expect today? It is this presentation is a walkthrough of some of the features that we have released. I'll give you a good list of what is included, but we'll go into details in some of the areas. What technical level can we expect? This is a down-to-earth presentation. You don't need any skills to understand what is going on. Of course, it will help if you've seen Document Capture before, but I'll try to keep the show on a level that everybody can follow. And what about this new version? Is it available to try out? Yes, of course it is. If you are already using Document Capture, you can upgrade if you want to, and if you don't have it available, you can spin up a sandbox and try it out in your test environment. And one note for the Continia partners who are also on board today, you can start up the demo portal. It has been freshly updated with the latest release, as mentioned here. So take it away, guys, and use the app. First of all, we have made a lot of your wishes come true, almost all of them. We have a few ones that didn't catch the train, but they will be included in the solution very shortly. The major part of them will be in the service pack that is being released in a couple of weeks or so. But let's not dwell at those things that didn't enter. Let's look at the list of the roadmap features that was included in the solution. And that's a great deal that we have added. These are the major parts, you could say, but we also have a bunch of other areas covered. So let's dive into it right now. First of all, look at the platform and technology. There's a support for a number of versions, version 14, 23, 24, 25 of PC Central. And please note that this is the latest, last release, is the right word, the last release of Document Capture that will support Business Central 14. From this day and onward, we will support app versions only. But don't worry, we will do some service packs for version 14 to correct and add a few things if we find something. Besides that, on the technical side, we have support for some technical areas. There's a new web portal. You can see that here clearly. And on the other side of the screen, we have the general application area where we did some general enhancements of the user experience. We have changed some layout of some pages, renamed them to make them more clear what they're all about. And we also, at the bottom of the list, you can see we support now the merge duplicate records, a standard feature in Business Central. So when you merge two vendors together, we will be able to merge the assigned document as well. So that's great news. The second from the bottom, continuous sustainability integration, has a check mark, which means we're going to look deeper into this area later on. So I will skip that for now, but instead dive into another area. Documents and templates, where we did a number of great things. There's also a number of check marks where we need to look at this. Worth mentioning here would be the caption suggestion notification that we have here in the middle, that the caption suggestions that you used to run manually is now being triggered automatically. So you get a pop-up in the screen saying it's about time that you start checking whether Document Capture's recognition can benefit your general recognition by running this suggestion action. So that's nice to get the notification that you can save time. Then we have the create line field guide further down the list. So now we have a setup guide for creating new line template fields. Special prices and discounts overview, direct access from the document journal when you want to view the prices and the discounts in case you do check the prices recognized against your item prices, then there's a direct link to view those. And then there's support for barcode in the item reference table is also a cute one, worth mentioning. Standard feature from Business Central that is now included in Document Capture. On the right-hand side, we have some eDocuments features, a lot of them, and a great deal of those are also shown today, or at least we're going to have some slides and some demonstration of some of it. And worth mentioning also over here is that one of the top features here is that we have native document capture functionality, meaning that eDocuments is no longer a additional feature. No, it is embedded and directly available in document capture when you install document capture. No need to activate anything. It is there from day one when you install or upgrade your document capture. So great news. No setup needed. Simply start using it. And talk about using eDocuments. Support for Rechnung 3.0 is great news for the customers, especially in the German German-speaking countries, and now we have support for yet another format. One more page here is about a few different areas. Let's look into the purchase documents, where we did some user experience enhancements, and also here worth mentioning automatic purchase order archiving. So whenever you do changes to purchase order, we will archive it, ensuring that you have a clear view of what was before this purchase order was updated by incoming document. Also a bit about the general ledger attachments. We can view attachments from general ledger entries, and we also safeguard them in case you have you are reusing a document number. There were some issues, or could be some issues with whether you could delete or keep the document. So now we have ensured that you cannot delete documents, even though you're trying to reuse the document in a document number in a document journal. So not document journal, a general ledger journal or purchase journal, of course it is. So read more about this in the release note on Continia Docs. Purchase contracts, few items mentioned down here, and one I want to focus on right now is the match to purchase contract. So whenever you have a invoice that can be matched to a purchase contract, you now have a dedicated page for showing how it's matched together, what is being linked, and a very clear view of the connection between the incoming invoice and the contract. On the right-hand side, we have document approval, and there we have comments now being available. Comments created during registration are now available during approval. It's also great. Order receipt matching as a dedicated page for viewing when you have purchase orders being updated. Then you have the opportunity to view that in a dedicated page also. And the last two ones, country and regional, we have payment days for the Spanish localization and advanced letter category, also now available in the Czech version. The payment days is a standard feature in Business Central, but only in Spanish localization that we now support. So how much are we going to look at? This is the list of today's subjects. A great deal of items on the list today. So let's jump into it and start looking at the details. First main subject is documents and templates, where we are going to look at the great way to change the document category, AI for sales documents. Yeah, you heard right. This is the new AI spreading all across document capture. Expense management integration, and there's some default values being shown, block unused templates, and also support for the standard invoice discount in Business Central. So let's look into the first item. As it says here, you sometimes want to move a document from one category to another because it entered this category. Let's say it entered a purchase category, want to move it to purchase order category, and that could happen through mistakes or because you have one email that your vendors know about and can only send to, and therefore we need to move this document to another category. Doing that would be through a new Groovy action, as it says here. Simply click a button and you will be able to move the document from, in this case, from the purchase category as shown in the screenshot. Select the change category and you'll be able to move the document to a category of the same source type. So for a purchase category document, you'll be able to move it to a purchase order or to a vendor because they are related. You could also move the document to another category by using the existing feature, the existing field called document category code, where you can choose freely between different document categories. Please note that both options are only available if the document is a status open. The two ways of moving the documents quickly is they have different benefits. You can say that changing category action is quite good because it runs the recognized fields automatically. You don't have to re-recognize and go to the category and press the action. It simply runs by itself. Whereas the old one, you could say the field where you manually select in a list in the document journal, the one shown here to the right, does not run the recognize. So clear benefit with the new action that we can process the documents faster. Let's jump into to the sales category and talk about the AI we have here. Just like the purchase category, we now for sales category are able to recognize data using the built-in AI capabilities in Document Capture. And what is covered by the AI, that would be both the header fields and the line fields. Besides that, you can create customers directly from the recognized document, as it says here, similar to when you create a vendor based on a purchase document. And just to let you know that you can expect more and greater results from the AI in the future. We are working hard on this area. So let's see. It's looks like we're going to have a live demo here, and I should have a page open here. Let's see if we can do like this. Yeah, it should work. Great. This is my Document Capture 25 on a Business Central 25 environment, and I need to go into my document journal to show you a AI processing of a sales document. So let's try this out. Oh, I see up at the top we actually have the new caption suggestions popping in. Oh, how convenient! Just to notify me that we might benefit from running this create suggestions now. But remind me tomorrow when I have time. Right now is bad timing, so I'll hide it for a while. Great stuff. Okay. I have two documents here, one from Trade Research and one from Datum Corporation. And as you can see also that the customer here wasn't recognized. So that's probably because we didn't have a customer in our database right now. So let's go create one. I will go to the customer menu and select create customer. And by selecting this one, you get this nice view of possible addresses. In this case, I have only one address, the customer address and my address. And naturally, we should not recommend to create a customer using our company address, but only the one from the customer itself. And yeah, let's just create the customer, and there we are. The customer is created, and the document is now being recognized according to the template fields in my template. Very simple and very easy, and just like the purchase category as that we already know of. Let's switch to the first document from trade research. This has been recognized, but I would like to recognize some line details, not only the header field. So let's go to the document card and try that out. Should be fairly simple to use this line recognition because it works the same way as for purchase documents. Simply select the AI up here in the top, and you will have the recognition running smoothly and recognizing everything you want. So that's it, guys. There's not much more to it. Simply recognize the document, and you can register when you are ready to do so. Let's move on to the next subject. That would be expense management integration. When we receive a document, an invoice in Document Capture, you're now able to see if this is a duplicate document based on data from the expense management expenses. So what is the benefit here, Mikkel? What is it that you get? Well, it does prevent you, as it says here, from registering, posting, paying the same document, the same invoice more than one time. Don't want to pay twice, of course. So that's an obvious benefit. If you can track that a document already exists, we don't need to handle this one. But how does Document Capture figure this out? Well, it's quite simple. We have recognized data in Document Capture, and they're being compared to what we have in expense management. And as it says here, Document Capture will try to attempt, because it's not like a precise way of doing that. There are some parameters we can look at, like the document date recognized compared to what document date we have in expense, plus minus 3 days, currency code, and the amount including VAT. Those 3 values are being looked at and compared. And if such a document is found, you will be notified by a friendly message here in the bottom of the document journal, saying that, hey, look out, this could be a potential duplicate transaction. And very simple, very easy to handle. There's no setup at all. Document Capture does this automatically. Jumping over to show default field values, also a new nice thing we have in the document journal. When you want to register a document, you might have certain values that are being populated, created by, let's say, the purchaser code or the vendor, like dimensions, responsibility center, and such things. Those values are now displayed in the document journal. They are displayed here in the document header section. And if you follow the arrows, we'll see here that we have recognized RB, and our contact in the brackets is the value that we get from, in this case, the vendor. So this is the expected value, and this is what I recognized. They are the same in this case. But down here, I didn't recognize anything, but the responsibility center says that we will populate this value on the document when it's registered. The responsibility center called main, and so on down the list. It's worth noticing that the captured content is stronger than the expected value. So we see in these 3 cases, we have a value recognized that differs the one that comes from, let's say, the template card or the vendor or the purchaser code, approval flow code, department, and currency in this example. So these values would then supersede the expected values. But Mikkel, what is this for me? What does it help? It does save you a lot of time. You can easily confirm what is being applied to the invoice when you create it. So you have less errors and you have better data quality, so you can do a faster decision on these documents, what to do and whether to register or not, or perhaps change the values. So does this just work out of the box? Not quite. You have to go in and activate this per category that you want to show the default field values. You don't want to populate anything you don't need, so here's the option to activate it or deactivate it. But what is populated? These fields in the purchase category and the sales categories are being affected. One of these would be the dimensions 1 to 8 that we can see the expected values for. But wait a second, Mikkel, the dimensions, you say, aren't they kind of put into a priority list? There's somewhere in the Business Central you can prioritize which dimension from which table is the strongest one, and that of course is being looked at. So the default dimension priority is taken into consideration, and the rules they are configured will be enforced. So you are on safe ground. Don't worry. The things shown in the brackets will be the ones that respect the priority list. It's time to look at the templates blocking, so you can optimize your template selection a lot better. So you might have a number of templates for a vendor, where one of them, or perhaps many of them, several of them, would be a unwanted or a obsolete template you have put aside, but yeah, would be great to block it. That you can do now. Mean that when you do a automatic recognition or a manual selection, the template will not be in the list. You will only see those that actually are available for your current vendor. Well, if you want to view and work with these block templates, you can still look them up. They are available in the full list. The way to block these templates is to go to the template card and simply activate the setting called blocked, and then they are blocked. The obvious gain here is that you have a faster processing of your documents, because we will ignore the block templates and only focus on those that are actually in your list of active good-looking templates. So better overview and faster recognition process. Let's look at the invoice discount. This is the standard Business Central feature that is supported by Document Capture. And this is done through a simple field called invoice discount amount, applied into the master template, where you can select it whenever you need it. So what does this field do? Well, it's simple, walk in the park. When you recognize a document with a invoice discount value, that value is pushed into the invoice discount amount on the purchase invoice, and Business Central draws the rest. Here's an image of the invoice where you can see that the 660.50 that are recognized in the document are populated in the right field. So what about taking a look at the invoice discount functionality? There we are. So let's jump into the document journal for purchase documents. Here we are. And I have a first up consultants and a not publisher. Let's take the not publishers, because this is the one where I have my invoice discount, as you can see, 606.50. And I would like to go in and add this as a new template field. I don't have it right now, so let's go to that template field and select my invoice discount amount. There we are. It's right here. And besides that, I also want to recognize lines. So let's go in and do that before I start recognizing the discount, because I want the details and not the total amount. So let's recognize the lines. It should be simple. Yeah, the AI stuff again. So here we go. Lines recognized, translated. It's all great. And I'll go Let's just go back to the journal and stay here for a while. So I have lines, but the line totaling doesn't add up with what we have here as a total amount. So there's a kind of a message for me down here, an error. I cannot continue. The document is not okay. It's blocked. I need to do something. And the something is to recognize the discount value. So let's go do that. So I will recognize this one and blue and orange. And now values captured. The message disappeared. And yeah, you said that should be enough. It is enough. So let's select the register and move on and view the invoice created. And what do we see here? We see the lines with the values from the document, 59, 40, and 125 adds up nicely to this amount, and we have a discount posted here. And when we deduct those, we add up with a total amount that matches what is recognized here. And so it's all good and great. Wow. Let's take a look at the statistics just to satisfy my curiosity. Here we are, amounts, invoice discount, it's all filled in automatically and calculated, and it works out of the box. So what's more to say? I guess nothing. It just works, and I'm happy as it is. Thank you, Document Capture. This helped me greatly in my discount handling. That was the last topic for the documents and templates. Let's move over to purchase documents. So we have one thing called allocation accounts. What is this support for allocation accounts? Let's move into this. So allocation accounts is a standard business-centered feature that Document Capture supports. And the allocation account, if you don't know what it is, let's have a few words about it. It's a way to distribute, allocate an amount across different accounts or different dimensions based on percentage or a share, as it says here. So it's simple to set up, easy to use, and it does look like a bit what we have in Document Capture already called standard amount distribution code. So there's some similarities as it looks here. As you can see here, it has the same structure, but there are still differences. Document Capture support this, and means that when you will go in and choose this account type, Document Capture is ready for that. But where can you choose this account type? So let's take a look. That would be in the accounts for amounts, where you can choose GL and items and contracts and so on, but you can also choose a allocation account. Of course, they need to be configured first, but you can select the configured ones here. And then naturally, we should also be able to do the same thing for the line translation. So in the line recognition area on the document card, you can select the translator type, allocation account. There are a few constraints here. Allocation account supported right now is fixed. The variable ones, if you have looked into that part, are currently not supported. We support the fixed ones. I guess those be the one mostly used also. And there's another one, I added the please note because it's important to know this, that if you set up a purchase order with the allocation account, this account type is not matchable through the matching order lines. Currently not. So only two minor constraints. Otherwise, the allocation account functionality is supported by Document Capture. Let's look at the general application area where we have sustainability. Continuous sustainability is integrated into Document Capture, and I guess you might have heard about the Continia Sustainability app. It was released here in October. used for tracking and reporting your carbon emissions, as my text describes here. With document capture and sustainability together, you have a close integration, makes it easy for you to do your environmental reporting. It's very simple, and we have done a lot of things to make it as easy for you as possible. So when you activate your Continia Sustainability app, we automatically add these fields to your master template, the header fields, the line fields, so it'll be made available, and you can add them to your templates whenever you need to report on those areas. So how do one report these data? Well, if you go into the account for amounts, this is where things happen when you want to configure an account. You could have a GL account like this one, 31010, that when you choose that, the values will automatically be populated into the account for amounts, so you can see the values and maybe adjust them, because for this template there might be different options needed according to what you're buying from this vendor. But this is a facility where you have cement production and the volume is in cubic meters, so it's clear to see what is going on. And the same goes for when you go back to your document journal and look at the header fields, you will see the values populated from the account for amounts, and you can adjust those here on the fly if you want to. Recognizing lines, the same story applies. That you can go into the line translation, and when you select an item or account that had been configured, these values are automatically shown out here to the right, just like we saw before for the header amounts. And as an alternative, if you don't like these values, you can say you need to adjust them based on what you are buying in this particular situation. You can go in and adjust the values in the line section directly. This is, of course, only if you need to do so. In some situations, you might choose an account that has been partly configured with sustainability values or fully configured. It doesn't matter, actually. We do check whether this account item needs sustainability attention, and a friendly comment appears assisting you in adding these columns we saw just before, these template fields, so you can get the full overview. This is just a warning, it's not a demand, but it is a help for you to add these fields. So there's nothing you need to do in order to set it up. It is there already. You're being guided whenever you have an account that requires sustainability values, so it's straightforward to use. If you want to hear more about carbon emission, you can join our webinars or look at the Continia Sustainability landing page on our homepage. Here are the links. You will be the attendees on today's webinar will get the presentation, so you have the direct links here, but also take a screenshot if you want to, or or wait for the PowerPoint to be delivered to you by mail. So, yes. Moving on. Now it's time to look at some eDocuments, also known as XML invoices or XML documents. And with Document Capture version 25, we have introduced a bunch of advanced settings. So it says here at the top, e-order advanced ordering with cancellation and change and agreement. Also some party network capabilities. It's not party like celebration, but it's close to. I guess I will celebrate all night long when I have this functionality in my solution, that you can check your customers and vendors whether they are able to use XML files. And then some automations that we need to look briefly on here later in the slide deck. So yeah, good portion of subjects to look at here, and let's see how we'll manage through that. There's a lot of slides. So XML and e-billing, e-ordering, advanced e-ordering, e-shipping, e-catalog, e-commerce. There's a lot of things going on in this e-document world. Some of them are future features to come in Document Capture. I'm just showing this for you so you can see that we actually focus on these areas. These three will be skipped for now and focus on what is in our solution. The possibility to centralize your document exchange. And in today's demonstration, I would jump into the advanced ordering, e-ordering, where we can do responses, cancellations, and changes, and have agreements being sent as electronic documents very easily. Before demonstrating this, I would give you a few flowcharts to show you what is this all about, what is it Mikkel is talking about, what is the difference between a simple e-order flow and the more advanced ones. So let's try to jump through these swim lanes. We have a buyer, we have a seller, and then the CDN, Continia Delivery Network, in between where the data is being exchanged. So the buyer could be using Document Capture, the seller could be using Document Capture, or both. It doesn't matter. The flows demonstrated here simply needs to be between two parties that have the advanced, or in this case, the simple e-order, the advanced e-order capabilities. Of course, Document Capture is a preferred choice for both sides. But let's get on with it, Mikkel. You're babbling. So here you are. The buyer creates a purchase order, which is then sent through CDN to the seller, who then automatically creates this based on the e-data. And the seller, the vendor, will send a response back saying, "Hey, we received it, and we will update that in our buyer end." And we will kind of end the story there, because that's what you can do with simple e-order. That's been there for a while in Document Capture. Now it's time to look at the advanced stuff. I have a couple of scenarios I want to show you. So let's roll back what we can do. So and look at what happens after we have received the update from the vendor, and in case we want to cancel this. So I received an update from the vendor saying they can deliver these goods at certain prices, perhaps, and I don't like the prices or the terms or delivery date or whatever, so I will send a cancellation back. I'm not accepting this. No, I'm canceling this. And then the supplier gets this canceled sales order information in, and they will then confirm this to me. Hopefully, now that I want to cancel it, then the supplier will then send a cancellation back to me, and I can delete my purchase order because it doesn't exist on either side. So it's a flow that supports documentation all the way through the process. I can see who did what at what time, and whenever I reach the final point that I can delete my purchase order, simply do so, because the case is closed and cannot be reopened. There's another scenario. Let's roll back again, where I have an order change and confirmation. So I will receive an update from the vendor saying we can deliver these goods, but I'll send an update to them again. I want to buy more, or I want to buy other items. So I'll send a purchase order change, or perhaps the delivery date or something. The seller side then receives this sales order change. My purchase order will be their sales order, and they will send a confirmation back, or they could also send a cancellation back, say, no, it's not possible, you have to stay with the original quantity or delivery date, whatever it is. But in this case, they send a confirmation back, and I will have this confirmed in my system, where I can see there's a signed document through their confirmation. I have a proof of what we agreed on, and that is all covered in that document. It's stored together with the purchase order. So quite interesting what you can do with this eDocuments advanced e-ordering. We can communicate back and forth and have all the specifications, all the details stored on the purchase order, all the sales orders when it comes when you look at it from the seller side. Let's jump into a live demo and look at these different scenarios. Well, what do we have? I have a list of purchase orders because I'm a customer, so I've created some purchase orders and I want to process these, finalize those. And let's go in and look at these from my vendor. So I'm going to filter on these to make the page a bit more viewable. Here we are. I have like 5 scenarios I want to show you. I've specified here in a comment field what it's all about, so we can see what is going on. And let's take the first one. What is it that I want to do? What is I want to achieve here in my purchase order? So the story so far is that I have sent a purchase order. It has been confirmed by the vendor. So I have received a confirmation like we saw before in my flowchart. And if we click into this field, you see that I've sent it on this date and I got a confirmation straight away 2 minutes later from the vendor, and I can open the document card and view the details. And there's a lot of data going on here, a lot of fast tabs that I can expand. So let's not dwell in with this too long. We see that it has been confirmed, and that is great. So it's all documented in here. Please note I can also open these incoming responses documents directly in the document journal, because it is a document that comes in through our normal channels and being handled like a normal invoice, a normal document. But this is a response, so it's not like an invoice. It's more like supplementary data that we are adding. And we see they accepted this. The auto response from the vendor was accepted without amendment. So it's clear to see. It's mentioned several places. So great. Go back, Mikkel, and stay in and focus on this one. So what is it that I want to do here now? Now I want to change this order and send the information to the vendor. And I'm staying on the customer side in this demonstration, probably through the full flow. So I will only focus on what happens when I create a sales order. But the same flow, the same actions take place on the supplier, on the vendor side. So if you want to see that, we can do a demonstration at a later stage. But right now, let's focus on what I have in mind here. And I want to, as a customer, buy 5 instead of 2. So 2 chairs are not enough. I need 5 because we're growing in the company. We need more seats. So otherwise, people have to stand up, and that doesn't work. So let's go into my actions after I changed and do an update. So now I'm sending an update to the vendor. Click and it's sent. Done. I don't have to push anything else. It's updated. And this is what you have to do. Then I will fast forward like in any other well-prepared TV program here. You will have like a setup already prepared. So this is step 1, you could say. And now I get the confirmation back from the vendor. That is what I have set up here in document 2. So it's actually the same setup, but I'm not waiting for the people in the supplier to react to this. I prepared that. So I've received a confirm from the vendor in this case. But take a look, it says it's unprocessed. So it means that it's still waiting in the document journal. Let's take a look. If you go back, you see I have like 4 unregistered documents, and these are my responses I have. So even though this has not been registered yet, I can, if I jump in again to my purchase order list, I can see that I have a confirm from the vendor that needs to be registered. It's not finalized, but it has arrived, and I can, as a employee that works with this purchase order, go directly in and open that document in the document journal and process it if I want to. Or I could have my colleague in another department doing that. Depends on what rights you have and so on. But this was accepted. And what I have to do if you don't have activated auto registration is to go in and simply register this one. So this was the manual process, slowed down, but probably in real life you have set it up to do it automatically. And now these changes are confirmed and posted. I can look into the list and see that I sent this order. I got it confirmed. I sent a change request, and that change was then confirmed again from the vendor. So everything is documented. Everything is available here, and even though it's not registered yet, I can still go in and look it up and finalize the flow. And now I have 5 quantity confirmed in this purchase order. Let's go back to the list of documents and try another scenario. So in this case, I have a document that also has some changes done by a vendor. So let's look at the flow. What do we have in here? There we are. I have quantity of 2. I have a price here of 97 something. And if I look at what did we do until now, is that I sent a order. I got it confirmed, like we saw before. But later, later in the evening, the vendor changed something. So what the hell is going on here? So let's take a look at the document journal. What is going on here? They changed the order for this line. So something is going on. So let's take a look. There's a match line page where you see the purchase order line and the change line, and they changed like the price from 97 to 150. So do I like that? Probably not. I don't like to pay that higher price for a product, so I would probably reject this one. So let's go back into the journal, and I have an action up here saying that I would like to cancel this order, and then I could do that quite easily. So all the changes filled in here, but I could cancel the setup if I want to and report back to my supplier. Let's skip down to a next scenario where we have 3 options here, or 3 documents. Let's see what I have here. Again, a PO that is confirmed by the vendor. Kind of send a PO, I get a confirmation back, and in this case, I would like to send a cancellation to the vendor. So it's me that canceling. Maybe I bought the goods somewhere else, or there might be other reasons to this. So again, here I go into one document, take a look, and see this it's greatly confirmed based on a send of an order, and it's confirmed. So we're good so far. But right now, I'm don't think I need these goods, so I will cancel this one. And when doing so, I need to fill in like these goods are not needed, perhaps, or whatever reason I type in, and send this on to the supplier. So the cancellation request was sent. Fast forwarding to the next document where I did a no. Let's go back out. That's probably better. So here I sent the request, and that was scenario 3.1. So in my 3.2, I have then receive a rejection from the vendor or a confirmation. So they either confirm that they accept the cancellation or they kind of reject it. And the rejection could be due to they already sent the good, so it's not possible, or based on the terms in our order agreement is that you need to cancel it way earlier, or whatever reason to that. So you can receive like a rejection or a confirm back. And again, these are unprocessed, and you can see, so they will reside here in my document journal, and it has been rejected by the vendor. So when I register this one, so it says it down in the bottom, the cancellation was rejected. So you have to react to this, and let me register this one. So then I would open the purchase order. Let's see here what goes on, if it will. Yeah, so here it is, cancellation rejected by the vendor. So I can keep track of what is going on, looking into this, see that I sent the cancellation, but they rejected it. And looking into the response, there might be some data saying why, and I can react through that. Long way back to the journal. So let's see, there we are. And this one where they confirm, it's quite simple. Let's look at this one, open the document journal. And when I register this one, you get a fully acceptance of the cancellation, so you can now delete the order if you want to. Or as it says here, you can actually enable a setting on the template that auto deletes the order when you register the response. So that's an optional setting. So let's register this one and look at it. The cancellation was confirmed. It was not rejected. It's confirmed. Now I can go in and delete this one if I want to. The main focus for me in this demonstration, these demonstrations, is to show that that we have the full flow documented. We have the option to do these different actions without needing to do much else than a single click. Send a update. It's done through the actions up here in the eDocuments menu. Confirm or cancel, all these actions here that we have, simply send the documents automatically to the vendor, or if you're on the vendor side, you have the same actions where you send to your customers. Everything is documented, everything is kept track of, and you have the full visibility of what is going on. Even though things are not registered yet, they pop up here on the order so you can see what is missing, what is going on, and what you have to do. I like this. This is a great amendment to the eDocuments processing. Let's stay in the eDocuments area. Let's look at the party network capabilities. It's all about having a good party, and in this situation, it's about who can you send document to your customers, to your vendors, and with this party network capabilities, we do guide you to figure out which vendor can support which document types. So if you're not sending, if you're sending documents, trying to send documents to a vendor that does not support a certain document type, or they're not registered, as it says here, you get this guide message popping up saying, hey, you're trying to do this, but what if you look at the setup? Let's try to do that. You will have a page opening for that vendor or customer where you can go in and view. Here to the right, we have the eDocuments receiving capabilities. So we see what document types can they work with. On this page, you are able to go in and check and validate the setup for this vendor simply by selecting this recheck action that we have further down here. And this page is available for eDocuments vendor setup and for customer setup. It's the same page, you can say, but with different directions. So click on select the recheck documents receiving capabilities, and the list out here to the right will be updated with the current values supported by the customers, vendors, eDocuments capabilities. So if they have published that into the global catalog, you can say, then it will pop up here on your page in your environment, and you're able to see, oh, okay, this vendor actually supports credit memo or order or invoices. So let's do that now and skip the PDF part and skip these manual mails back and forth when we do orders. Simply send them through eDocuments. That will save a lot of time and reduce the number of typos and errors you might have during the flows. This is all handled electronically, and all data is recognized without any issues, any considerations. It just works. We also have some automated updates in eDocuments to ensure that metadata, document status, and the receiving capabilities that we saw just before, that they are being updated in the background without you needing to click around somewhere. So this is activated in the eDocuments setup. These three areas where you can activate metadata update, which would be like the networks and network profiles and some network identification types. It's a bit technical, but it's needed in order to do the configuration of the vendors and your participation. Document status, also update that. So on a latest version of the document, you could say, so you don't need to go in and refresh pages, so it's done automatically. And the receiving capability we viewed a moment ago will be updated in the background. That is very simple to activate. When you flip the switch here, when you enable these three options, the job use entries are created and will be ready to run. And you will see the status are also here to the right, whether they are ready or on hold. So very simple, very easy to go in and have Document Capture do your background updating. I see time is flying. It's past 11 here in Europe, so I better speed up a bit because we need to view some document approval and a bit more also. So, well, we are looking at the web approval portal, and the advanced approvals have a new features here in these areas. We have the cross-company overview and some flow codes and highlighting of document lines. So I can't wait to show you that. That is actually quite cool. Everything is here, but I have my favorites. So cross-company overview in the web approval portal. This is a new dashboard we have introduced, and it collects all the pending approvals that you might have into one page for all companies, for all documents. And we also have purchase contracts available here. That's a kind of a cliffhanger. We have something about the purchase contract later approvals. What is this, Mikkel? Yeah. But why did we do this to the good old web portal? Why do we place everything in one page? Well, it's one obvious benefit is that you don't have to switch between companies. You have the full list of your documents, so you save time, I would guess, and you'll get an overview. So yeah, for the approval, it'll be easier to find the documents. You get all your documents, the invoices and other stuff you have lying around being approved way faster. And this is kind of a no-brainer. We need to do this. As a user, I need to use this new web portal. But you might want to still be on the old layout. You can do that by switching to classic mode on an individual level. So I could have a classic mode, but Kim, my colleague, could have the new modern view. So it's possible to stay in the old days if you want to. So let's jump a bit further because we have an example here. My cross-company overview. This is what it looks like. I have a long list of documents here, 21 in total, and they are collected from different companies. I can see the company relation is directly in the list. Some Kronos, some customer vendor. These are my nice named companies I have. And I can, if I want to, filter by company. In this case, I filtered on Kronos UK and get to see the list of Kronos UK only. Could also filter by document type, sales orders and contracts, and that would include the purchase contract as here in my list. That's quite nice. This is definitely something that would give you a better processing of your pending approvals, because you have access to all the documents for all your companies in one page. And this calls for a web approval portal demonstration. Let's jump into the page. It is a second for it to start up, and I get my demo environment menu, because we need to look into the web approval portal and look how Robin does his daily business. So that was a fast load of all these documents. I have these 21 documents, quite a lot, and yeah, I can sort by company up here, descending, ascending, type, if you want to, by name, amount, Great stuff. Due date. You see there's a lot of sorting possibilities here and also filtering. So let's go in and say only one my Kronos. There we are. All Kronos documents shown, and at the same time only give me like my sales orders and my mileages perhaps from expense management. So this is a cross company, cross type, cross application web portal. So we can look across different areas in one page. Quite nice, actually. These expense management and document capture things mixed together. Let's clear the view and clear the view also. So we had a full list. I like this one. Yeah. But as mentioned, I'm a kind of an old-fashioned guy, so I will go into my settings and say I like the classic view. And by selecting this one, I get my old style back, where I need to go into the different menus and look at different lists if I want to, and I also have my list of companies up here. But it's a lot of moving mouse and clicking around, so I'm going to go with the modern young colleague here in the company and choose this one. Yes. Oh, this one I wanted to show. Yeah. Moving on to more approval stuff, advanced approval using approval flows. You know, these flow codes where you can specify a fixed flow that is different from the ordinary flow. This is supported with advanced approval, so you can combine advanced approval with specific approval flows on specific documents. So you can choose on the fly to divert from advanced approval workflow to these alternative flows that you could call them. The following document types are supported: invoices, credit memos, orders, and return orders from the purchase side. This offers you a better flexibility when you want to send documents to selected colleagues based on different rules than the advanced approval offer. So you have way better methods of finding the approvers needed here. More advanced approval stuff would be the highlighting of document lines. You know, sending a document for approval using advanced approval is based on the line amount and the dimension values we have here, in this case, department code. So we'll figure out who's going to approve these lines. And that has been kind of a there's been a situation where you needed to know what to approve. So I was responsible for administration. Therefore, I would, when I press approve here at the top, I would approve this line, but I'm still viewing all the lines, even though I'm not touching them, you could say, I'm not approving them. So it's not been quite evident what is going on, not quite clear for the users to what am I approving here. This has been changed. We have improved the way of viewing the list, so users will now, the approvers will now see that when they're in the portal, that they're approving these two lines, they're highlighted, they're bolded, whereas the third line, the GL account, is not something that he's going to judge. This person is approving for administration and production, not for the sales department. And the same goes for the purchase approval entries that we have in Business Central. Same document I'm showing here, so we see that the same lines for the same user, that they are also highlighted in a great way. It's clear to me that I'm working with these two lines, and this is what I'm approving. So this will remove the distractions of all the lines. It will help you streamline your approval flows. You have a faster approving, and you are ensured that what you are actually selecting approve on is what you see here. So what you see is what you get. Almost at the end of the show, kind of sad. This is the last subject. I guess it is, yeah. Purchase contracts. But luckily it's one of those where I can play around a bit to show you what we have done in that area. Main focus here is that we have said goodbye to review, and we greet the new approval possibilities. So this is a greater change made to purchase contracts. We have changed the code totally in regards to the proofing of your contracts. Used to have like a review. Now it's an approval process, similar to what we have in our purchase area. So this means we have better workflows, and we have also more key functionality. We have improved a lot of areas to make the approval of purchase contracts work the same way as, you know, from the purchase area, purchase invoices, credit memos. And this is the reason why we did this change. We didn't want to have two different ways of proofing documents. So the same method being applied to different areas in Business Central makes sense. So now we have aligned the purchase contract with the general way of approving documents in Business Central and Document Capture. But what does this do to your process? Should help, I guess. Smoother, accurate, and better control of tracking. So we have a full overview, and you can manage your contracts way better. So you have a faster flow of your contract proofing, contract reviewing, contract approving. This was not a minor change. This was a greater had a greater effect on purchase contracts. So let's take a look at where we did some new things and where we enhanced the solution. We added some workflows, of course, in order to support these approval workflows. So this the new workflow templates are available. There's a purchase contract request entries page and a purchase contract approval entries page. Similar pages that we have on purchase invoices, credit memos, approval flow. So it's aligned totally with the purchase category. Then we have a number, actually a great deal of pages being updated, changed. The setup page, user setup, different contract pages, and some sub pages like invoice period, and the create purchase contract guide is also updated. So there's a lot of things going on here. Role center does also get a tiny tweak. It's about time to join the purchase contract approval. So what is it that I want to show you today? Mikkel, what do you have up your sleeve? That would be like first choice, purchase contract setup. What did we change here? What has been changed? So if you look at this page, which is normally configured automatically, there's a few things that we have improved, added, changed. So first of all, approval email subject. So we will now have the possibility to go in and fill in a subject for an approval email going out to the approvers, just like we know from the purchase invoice part. We have an approval section popping in here where I can set up a max allowed date variance when it comes to matching against approval stuff. And we have here enabling of contracts and force approval for contracts. So we have the same logic set up as we know from the purchase area. These are by default deactivated, but if you activate them, it's the workflow are created, and you know the drill from the Document Capture setup, but we also have these activations that we could go in and trigger. Very simple and very easy to do. So that's it. Just select this one, and you're good to go. And you might want to adjust the allowed date and your approval email subject, but let's jump on to the next part. That will be my user setup. So in here we also have some areas you need to look at. Let's take Esther, who is usually the person who has unlimited approval for purchase invoices. You see at the top, but further down the page we have a purchase contract section where we see that she has a limited approval for contracts but an unlimited for invoices. So you can have dedicated setup depending on what area you have the full rights or low rights, and you can also notice that the approval of her contract would be Robin Bettencourt. So let's jump to Robin and look at his page. He has a limited approval for purchase, but for contracts it's unlimited, and therefore there's no need to fill in approval. He's the boss in this area, you could say. So just like for purchase invoices, you do the same here for purchase contracts. I like the logic. It's understandable and it's aligned with what we already know. Hang on the home page and yeah. That's too fast, Mikkel. I need to explain these tiles down here, of course. We have some few tiles. Approval due. Those are the ones that based on the due date. If the approval is due, then they pop up here. Approval needed is a bit different. Those are the contracts that need the approval but are not yet sent into an approval flow. So it's that could be based on the date or based on other conditions. I'll get back to that later. Pending approval, yeah, it's self-explaining. They are pending some colleague to do the job here. And those pending approval can be easily sent out to the users, the approvers, through this email, so you get a notification that they have something they want to approve, just like we know from this purchase documents status email. And now it's time to look into the list. There we are. Great. Let's take this page and look through the different columns. We have some approval by, approval status, frequency, and next approval date. It's all aligned, so it's two pending approval, and we see who's going to approve it, similar to the purchase area, and then one approval needed. Let's jump into this one. And in here we have a bunch of fields mentioning approval. We have approval section, frequency, next approval date, approval status, approval by, and comment. We also have some actions here at the top, request approval and approval. We can look at the approvals, the flow that have been worked on for a while, perhaps with this contract, and we can also do the approval actions like force approval because I enable that in my configuration. So this looks quite like a purchase invoice or a purchase credit memo. It feels good. It feels good. So I promise you something about this approval needed status. What is this all about? Is it due or is it not due, Mikkel? Well, it might be due, but it based on the date, but it could also be needing approval due to somebody changed a value in the document. So let's say that I go in and change the account, or I change the quantity or the cost, or I change the invoicing period or other key fields that would trigger automatically that that an approval is needed. Because if I activate my auto approval up here and I would change the amount to like 1 million, then it would be unwise to simply accept that change without somebody approving it first. So changing this unit cost, as an example, would trigger the approval status so that my invoices coming in would not be auto approved when they are matched to this purchase contract. So we are ensuring here through this overlooking of fields, validating fields, that key field changes trigger a new approval flow, and the auto approval of invoices will be disabled for this contract. Yeah, enough talk, Mikkel. We need action. Come on, send this for approval. It will go to Esther. So yeah, let's send this beauty to her. The BTNT subscription. So it's now pending Esther's approval. here. Let's go back. Let's go back and look at the approval entries that we have here in Business Central. So we have two documents lying around. One is SIXT and one is BT&T. And you see the lines, you see comments, you can add comments and such things, you know the drill. Yeah, so let's approve this one. Simply straightforward. Let's approve this one. And clicking this one, you see that it's been approved and disappears from the list clearly. And this one I want to forward, so I have the forward action. I would approve and forward to, let's send it to Robin. So here's something to work on. There we are. I could have added a comment if I was a bit polite and saying why he needs to look at it, but I sent a mail instead, or a Teams message. So yeah. Going back to the list of contract, we see that we have this approval needed change from 1 to 0, and we have 2 pending approval now because I did release one of them. This from 6 is now released, and get a nice view that the next approval would be like in a year's time, because that is what I defined up here. So it works. It's great. I can lean back and let Robin do his approval. So yeah. Why don't we do that? Robin, wake up and jump into the portal, do your job. And we have the 2 contracts here in the new layout. And let's look at the BT&T contract. See, it was approved and forwarded, like we know from the purchase invoices. And look at this one. I'll get to see my contract if I want to. It's not a nice one. It's a lot of red text there. So, but I do get to view everything here. So it's all in good shape. I can change the lines if I want to, if I have the opportunity through my configuration. But I could also, as Robin, go in directly and approve this, reject or forward. All these standard options that we can do with documents. So let's try that. There we are. Document is approved. And going back into the list, you see I have 1 due that is pending approval, and now I have 2 released ones. This one up here at the top, and the lower one that was done by Esther. So yeah, that's a major change done to purchase contracts, and this is quite nice. I like it. Yeah. So what will this benefit you? Definitely better control. You have more checks, and the ones involved in this approval will have more possibilities. They also be handled by limits. We have better tracking, and you have the force approvals. You have less errors due to all this supervision of changes done to the contract. So you have a clear process, and definitely a contract management that kicks butt. I'm sure of that. So my words to you is to enjoy this new baby purchase contract reborn version. It's, in my eyes, the best gift for anybody in any business. So go use it. I would say thank you all for joining, and I'm looking forward to doing the next show with all of you, and hopefully you will jump in and use the new portal and the new approval parts we have in purchase contracts. So until next time, have a great day and a great week. Thank you.